Premier athlete is kind of the mold of my business. Everyone's an athlete in their own way, right? Adults, we're all athletic. It's just, what are you going to do with it and moving forward with it? So I think the biggest thing for anybody I work with is more or less, how can we get better, but how can we be even better as a individual, better contributor to society? Can you be a better spouse? Can you be a better dad, better mom or grandparent, whatever that may be?
Hey guys, it is Dustin Bogle here with another Lunch with a Punch episode, and I have a special guest. So he is one of us. Again, I know you guys that listen here are gym owners, coaches, etc. And so I got somebody that's living in the same world here with us, and I wanted him to come on and share his story because I think it's something that will really inspire you guys and also help you to grow your business. So my guest today is Hines. All right. He is a world-class coach. He's a gym owner. He's got a football background, and we're going to talk about that. And he knows his stuff. He's got a degree in health and human performance, and he's the owner of Premier Performance Training. All right. And so this is something that I know we're going to dive into, is like growing this business, training clients, customer experience, things like that. We're going to pick his brain. And then finally, there is a book that I want to point you guys to. As you guys see, I'm a fan of books. And so definitely go and pick up a copy of The Athletic Advantage, 10 Reasons to Become a Premier Athlete. And we're going to dive into something really cool that happens every time you guys buy a copy of this book. So Aaron, I am fired up, man. How are you doing? You ready to do this, my friend?
I'm good, man. Let's rock and roll, Dustin.
All right. So again, this is where a lot of business talk goes down. So let's start there. How did you get into business and decide to go out and open up your own gym?
Yeah, so probably like a lot of us, or some of us maybe, I got fired from my corporate gym gig. I was there for probably 3 years, was working at one of the largest or larger orthopedic clinics in town doing pre and post rehab training. And I guess my term was over for about 3 years. So I kind of was living about 45 minutes away from the gym I was training at. So I took some time, I guess a day, to try to figure out what I wanted to do. I tried to file for unemployment. That got denied. I tried to, I think I applied to Home Depot or wherever I could get to. So it was kind of like, what's next? What do I do? I still had like a lot of clients interested in working out with me. They all, were concerned what happened, because it was kind of, on the spot. It was one of those like, hey man, we don't need you anymore. Get your stuff and get out of here. Wow. Yeah, very abrupt. I kind of probably felt it come a little bit, but it was kind of all of a sudden. So all those clients were like, yeah, man, just let me know where you're going to be and we'll come join you. So I didn't know where I was going to be. So of those probably 40 or 50 clients, I started training two super committed and loyal clients at a local apartment complex in town, where I was already kind of doing a little bit of training for their residents. And then, from there, that's kind of where I started shooting out emails or connecting with other people in town, trying to find somewhere to rent. And I ended up at a small spot, literally probably a mile and a half from where I currently am, with a guy who I really didn't know. I didn't really know his style or what he wanted to do, but I started there with two people, and it kind of just grew from there over that time. So that's 6 years ago, or maybe a little longer.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. And so who is your ideal customer, your avatar? Who's the people you help in your facility?
Yeah, so the most of everybody I help, I would say, is probably the 45 and up individual who wants to lose weight, gain a little bit more energy, and just live life pain-free. My background is orthopedic injury assessment and care, either before surgery, after surgery, or kind of during that physical therapy treatment phase. So that's probably 90% of who I work with is what I would call the moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, who were just, maybe tired of doing the old ways of working out. Not that I have a new way, but it's just something that's just fit for them. And then, other 10% of my business is sports performance. I work with fifth grade all the way up to college and semi-pro athletes. And I've worked with a few pro athletes, but I like to stay away from them as much as possible, just because of scheduling. And it's a lot to handle. And I like to stay in-house and not travel.
Okay. I love it. And yeah, and I think that also makes you unique, because I think while most places are chasing fat loss and body transformation, you're the, guy to go to if you want to get rid of pain. And when you are in that 45 plus, there might be people who have injuries, nagging injuries, they're sitting down, they got back pain, neck pain, all kinds of things. And so that's great that, you're helping people in that way. I'm sure, again, body comp also comes from it, but it's nice to enter the conversation differently. Now, if a coach or a gym owner feels like, man, that's an area I'm lacking, like I really need to learn more about that, I need to improve in that. Is there any certs, courses, books that you're like, this is where you can go to learn more about this specific area of training?
I would say there's probably some certs. I don't have any particularly to that. I think it's more about just the experience working with those type of people. It took me a while. I mean, coming out of grad school, I thought I knew everything about training, and I worked at the YMCA's, and I thought I had the perfect clientele I wanted to work with. And I was kind of in shock when I went to the orthopedic clinic, and I knew, but I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. So I think it's more about just working with a few of those people, and it's probably not for everybody. I didn't think it was going to be my, avatar client or perfect client or whatnot. So I think it's probably, for me, it was kind of hard to just say, hey, I'm going to take this certification, know everything I need to know about orthopedic training or injuries. I know there's some out there, but I think 3 years of experience and just connecting with other, non-surgical orthopedic docs or physical therapists in town has kind of really helped me kind of mold the referral source, but also have that connection on, if I don't know, Dustin, then I can go ask.
Yes.
Because I don't like to guess. So I can call. I just set up one of my kids with an orthopedic or a physical therapy session today. It was hard for him to get in, and I just made a phone call and connected him. So it's that kind of referral basis with the PT, but also back and forth to take care of their client, what's next. But also if my clients get injured, hopefully that doesn't happen, but it could always happen on the weekend when they're hiking or on vacation. I can always say, hey man, this is who I can send you to. Great guy, great girl. They're going to take care of you, and we can still work out. So that's kind of the plus side of what that. So I think it's more about the connections and kind of making people realize that you're in town and that you are looking maybe to help them. They help you, but also, learn from them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was going to say, that's the sign of a good coach, a great coach, in my opinion, is when they say, I don't know, or it depends, more than another coach does. A coach is like, they fake it till they make it, or they just have a quick, templated answer they tell everybody. So saying I don't know and it depends is like the right answer, as weird as it sounds. So like, again, that points that you know your stuff. Now, if you were going to go and speak to your old self, when you're first opening that gym, is there any mistakes that you've kind of lived through that you'd go back and warn yourself about, or like learning lessons that maybe a new person's thinking of opening a gym, and like they want to hear what does somebody that's more of a veteran have to say about this type of situation? So what are some like learning lessons that you've had in terms of growing your business recently that you would pass on to a fellow gym owner?
Yeah, I think one of the bigger ones was just because I was known where I was previously doesn't mean that people are going to follow you or people know who you are. So I think the biggest thing was probably marketing, getting my message out there. I was probably about a year and a half in, and I was ready to kind of fold it up and go into back to the corporate business or whatever it may be. I was super frustrated because I knew all these people, but no one wanted to work out with me, and I didn't know why. So I think about marketing message or just getting out there, meeting other business owners or just connecting with other like-minded people who might be able to connect with other people. I think that was probably one of the biggest frustrations for me because I'd been in the area for probably 5 years, and I just thought, hey, I'm gonna open this gym and people are just gonna flock to me because I'm a cool dude, and I want everybody to work out with me. So I think that's probably number one. And number two is I didn't know anything about taxes or saving money or anything like that. So at one point I was saving to open up my kind of other location where I moved, and I was renting from a guy previously. So let me make that clear. I was renting from a guy, leasing space, and I saved all this money up. And then the next year I got slapped with this like $25,000 tax. And, IRS got me, and I was like, man, what the heck? Why? I mean, I'm saving money to open this up, and now I got to pay $25,000. So what I wasn't doing is paying my quarterly taxes properly. Yeah. And that hit me. So that was like, holy crap. No one told me that getting into business, that you have to pay quarterly or, whatever you choose to do. So that was probably biggest mistake. Number two, maybe one of the bigger ones. And number three, I'd say finding a group of, whether it's mastermind or whatever it is, to connect with other like-minded gym owners. I think that's super helpful. I found one that I had liked. I'm still in it, but it's just a matter of knowing that there's other people in your same situation that go through the same grind, same struggles, same frustrations, and you can talk to those people about it. I think that's probably one of the bigger things that people should do. Even though I got criticized for spending so much money on, why would you join this group? That's stupid. You're never going to learn anything. Well, I'm in business and you're not. So I think I learned it quite a bit.
Yeah, they say
So that's probably my
money advice from broke people. Don't take health advice from fat people. So don't take business advice from non-business owners. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, yes. So everybody wanted to give you that. Hey, you should do this, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, you're wasting this on that, and you should put it towards this. I'm like, well, that's why you're going out of business. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
And it's funny, just previously, the last podcast episode that I did an interview with, the gentleman was the author of a book called "If You Build It, Will They Come?" ? And he said first, line that he says in the book is no one will come just because you build something. You need to market, you need to promote, you need to make yourself aware, you need to like flag, people down and tell them you exist. That is the kiss of death. If somebody literally opening a business and then crossing their fingers that it's all going to go good, you have to market, you have to lead gen. And I know, again, coaches tend to, we don't like to like brag or to talk about ourselves. And like, we just want to get our clients results and serve and, just be humble. But it's one of those things that you got to just work through. That is like a limiting belief and a limiting factor that you have to just get people's attention. Today, it's a noisy world, and the gym that gets the most attention wins. And so you could have a gym that's worse than you down the road doing better financially and having more members because they're better at marketing. And it's one of those things that you don't want to just go down that rabbit hole, really good at marketing, and then your service sucks. You got to have both dialed in, right? And you want to make sure that both are doing great. So I love that, you brought that up, hey, I've lived here for 5 years, when I build it, well, everybody will know. No, they won't unless you market, right? And so I'm glad you brought that up. That's a lesson I had to learn as well. And then the mastermind group or group of gym owners, I want to double down on that too. Some of the best new things that we implemented into our service was I learned something from another owner, or I saw what they were doing and I kind of put my spin on it, or I had the business coach or mentor that's running it teach me something and I implement it, and then our business grew. So like, don't have that ego. Again, especially guys can have a hard time asking for help and raising their hand and just being coachable. So yes, this is your first business. You're not going to know everything. You have to go and get that mentorship and that help. And just, again, if anybody is looking for a group, I have one called Gym Reinforcement. Shameless plug that you could go in, and there's lots of gym owners. And I see people saying, hey, I ran this ad and it sucked. Has anybody got a better ad? Or, hey, I'm having a hard time finding coaches. Anybody got some advice? And, lots of cool conversations going on. So definitely check it out. Now, I wanted to bring up a topic that I know you like to talk about, and that is balance. That, it's something everybody's chasing. I think it might be different for each person, what that looks like. But how do you kind of like advise another coach or gym owner to find that balance so that they can be in this for the long run? Because, you don't want to be burnt out after a year of operating, because then everybody loses. You shut the gym down, you throw in the towel, and you want to quit. You need balance to do this for the long haul. So how do you, kind of recommend that people do that? Or how do you find balance yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I still struggle with it sometimes, but it's just a matter of, this is the schedule and I'm not going to change it just because you want the time. So it's putting that block off your time, I guess is the best way to put it. This is going to be the schedule moving forward. And if you want to work with me, great, but this is where we're going to work. This is the time I have available. And if somebody's like, well, how about 7 p.m.? No, I don't think so. That's not going to work for me. So, it's just setting those boundaries, even though it can be for training hours. It could be for my workouts. It could be for hopping on this podcast, whatever it is, or just, 30 minutes of chill time. So that way I'm not completely drained by the end of the day. So I think that's been a big struggle for me, but it's gotten a lot better. And I'm not for everybody either. So just because you want to work out at 5 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's a big no for me. I take my kids to school 3 days a week. So I didn't do that in the past. And it's super helpful for my wife, but it's also a thing I get to enjoy them for, the 30, 45 minutes in the morning, take them to school, and then I go to work. So that, I think that's the big thing for gym owners and just trainers in general. They want to train everybody at every waking minute of the day. And it's not healthy mentally, physically, and burnout is pretty quickly upon the horizon for most, if not all, when they do that.
Love it. And so besides balance, when it comes to like the young coaches on the come up, or even just like a first 1 or 2 or 3 year gym owner, what is other piece of advice other than balance that you'd pass on to them to, again, allow them to stay in it for the long haul? Again, aspiring trainer or gym owner, is there any advice that you'd also pass on besides balance?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just taking time for yourself, whether that's doing something outside of work, reading a book that doesn't have anything pertaining to business or mentorship or training. That's kind of a hard one, but it's been helpful. I listen to podcasts just to kind of take my head out of, programming or, calling people back right away. That's the biggest thing, is taking time for me. At one point in time, I don't think I even touched a weight for 8 months, and that was just killing me on the inside, health wise. And so now I make it in my schedule, I'm working out 6 days a week, no questions asked, whether that's Monday through Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And it's been helpful. It kind of keeps me motivated, keeps me going. When I don't have the clarity I guess I need to focus, not only focus on just me, but clients. I just feel kind of scatterbrained and there's nothing really planned. It's kind of just, I show up and we're just going to do whatever. They may not know the difference, but for me, I'm like, this is horrible. This is the worst workout ever, the worst start to the day. And they don't have a clue, but for me, it's internally, it's like, this is bad. So I think that's the biggest thing. Take time off, take time away. Clients understand. They'll call you out. Mine call me out when I start to suck. And that's just where the workouts are bad, or my head's in another cloud thinking of something else outside of the gym. So I think that's a big thing for new gym owners or just people trying to get started. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing I didn't do, but now I take 4 or 5 weeks off a year. So it's super helpful.
Yeah. Boundaries is essentially the best way to say it. And think about this, that working more doesn't mean necessarily a bigger business, because we all have the same amount of time in the day. So if, one person works 16 hours and the other person works 16 hours, like you can't beat the other person on hours, you work the same amount of time. So what do you do? And it's work smarter. And the same thing we preach to our clients, sometimes we need to hear, and it's get the rest, make sure that you protect your health, put yourself first before you can take care of others. All these things we tell our clients, we need to hear sometimes. And I'll tell you, just to double down what you said, I have a big whiteboard in my gym. I got a home gym, and some of my best ideas and my breakthrough moments come through when I'm working out. So now I've attached like a positive feeling to working out to, yes, it could lead to business growth, and I'm taking care of my health, and it's a double whammy. And it's just we know all the stuff that goes on, the endorphins, the blood flow, like all these, things that happen. And I think I've seen people have a downward in their business because they stopped working out. And it's because the conviction might not be there. Maybe you feel like a phony because you're selling fitness, but you're not doing it yourself. I see people accumulate what I call owner's body, where your body starts packing on pounds, and it's because you became a gym owner versus when you were just a coach, you were lean, you're walking so many steps. And so watch out for owner's body, right?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then, you're burning the candles at both ends. You're not getting enough sleep, you're pounding tons of energy drinks, and you're just basically doing all the right things to take your health into the gutter. And so these are the ways, guys, that you will not grow your business. There's not a lot of gym owners that see EFT growth or member growth while they're living in this world. They either just maintain it or it even starts slipping backwards. And I think, kind of like what you alluded to, the clients can read it on you. We're a people-facing business. This is not something you can hide behind a computer and you're shipping stuff through Amazon and nobody sees you. Yeah. They are literally seeing you. You are the product, you and your team. So when you're not healthy, that translates, even if it's subconscious, the clients can pick up on it. We're really good people readers. And so again, I just want to double down on all the things you're saying here. I want to shift, Aaron, to your book, because this is kind of related. 10 reasons to become a premier athlete. What is a premier athlete, and why should somebody want to become one?
Yeah. So the premier athlete is kind of I'll say it's the mold of my business. Like, everyone's an athlete and in their own way, right? Adults whoever, at sports performance athletes, older individuals, we're all athletic. It's just, what are you going to do with it, moving forward with it. So the biggest thing with the book, the 10 lessons, is stories of individuals who have, overcome adversity or struggles or, things in their life. And most of it is, or all of them are athletes that I've trained, and it's things that they've overcome and setbacks that they've had to endure to become who they are today. And I think the biggest thing for anybody I work with is more or less, it's how can we get better, but how can we be even better as a individual? And that could be better, contributor to society. Can you be a better spouse? Can you be, better dad, better mom or grandparent, whatever that may be. So that was kind of what I was tending to accomplish with the book. I think it's more or less of kind of the success or the background for me, what I had to overcome and what I had to go through to become I really wasn't that athletic, but I got a scholarship and I made the best of it.
Yes.
So that's kind of the background of that. And I tried to teach those, I guess, skills or things that I had to go through, not only from a athlete or wannabe athlete to gym owner, entrepreneur, to my kids and things that I train, because life's tough and sometimes they look to you as more of a buddy or coach or even like I'm trying to think of a mentor, and just trying to be a better influence for them. I think that's kind of the
and there's something really cool that happens every time somebody buys a copy of your book. Can you kind of share what that is?
Dustin, the last chapter of my book is it's I guess I don't think the title is just Eli Grow. Eli was an athlete who, man, he was probably one of the hardest workers. I know everybody says that for their people they train. He was committed. He drove an hour and a half one way, worked out for an hour, and drove an hour and a half back home. Training wise, he was a quarterback commitment to Mississippi College, which is kind of a JUCO college. Don't remember the town it is in Mississippi, but he was committed to being the best athlete, doing the best in everything aspect. I mean, he would send me videos at 10 p.m. doing drills on the football field, his local football field, throwing football and speed drills and ladder drills and whatever it was. It's almost 7 years next month that he was leaving workouts and he got killed in a car accident on his way home. So kind of in honor of him, his parents started a nonprofit called the Eli Grow Foundation. And so every purchase of every book that I have literally just goes to the nonprofit. I'm not trying to make mega millions on this. This was something that I had wanted to do for a long time. It took me about 3 years to write this book. And within the launch of last year, I was able to donate over $1,000 to that fund. And it supports individuals, athletes who, I guess you'd say, don't have the means necessary to train like he did. They weren't able to travel or pay, kind of top dollar for sports performance training. So it allows them scholarship opportunities to be able to afford that, just like he did with that. And that's for a local town. It's about an hour south of where I am now. So it's pretty awesome. They have things every year. An 8K in his honor. He wore the number 8. So they have an 8K every year. They have golf tournaments, and kind of the big thing they do for his high school football team is every year they have, I guess it's spring ball. They have the top performer that get chosen to wear his number for the entire football season. So it's pretty special. And I just like kids to hear the story. A lot of them buy the book. They don't have a clue why I wrote the book. I've got these little wristbands. I don't know. It says never take anything for granted. And that was kind of his big saying. So that's something I try to pour into them and let them know that it's more about working out. It's more about, getting your scholarships. That's kind of the end goal, but it's also about how can I help you, maybe get a job outside of college or be a better person right now, be a better teammate, be a better classmate. There's a lot more to it than just showing up and working out.
Fantastic. Thank you, Aaron, for everything you do, man. Like the book, the donation to the charity, for pouring into young kids because they need that mentorship and that guidance more than ever. And for everything you do for your clients, because I know it makes a difference, and I truly believe in my heart of hearts, the coach role is the most important role that someone could step into in someone's life. It can literally change the trajectory of their life. So I just want to say thank you for all the people you serve and all the things you do, because it really is very, very apparent that you really care and that you're doing this for the right reasons. Yes, we are business owners and we need to make a living, but it should be impact before income, right? And that's what it's all about. So
yeah, I agree.
Aaron, if people want to learn more about you, follow you, check out your gym, where's the best places to kind of see you, where you're most active?
Man, I'm super active on Facebook. I know that's probably for the old heads, as some people call me. I'm not that old, but I do a lot on Facebook. You can just search Premier Performance Training. Just to make sure you're clicking on the Tennessee location. I'm in Brentwood, Tennessee. I'm on Instagram at Premier Performance TN. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. On TikTok, you're going to see more of my sports performance stuff. Or you can check me out online, premierperformancetrainer.com. I'm pretty active on most social media, but not as much as I probably should be as a gym owner. But I'm taking care of my clients first, and social media is kind of second and third. So
fair enough, man. And where's the best place for them to get the book? Where would you want to point people to get that?
Yeah, you can go to Amazon and just type in the search bar The Athletic Advantage on there. Or, I mean, if you're not really into, I guess you would say, reading books, on my website, I have a link. You can donate to the Eli Grow Foundation if you feel called to. That's fine too, just in honor of Eli. So all is appreciated.
All right, fantastic. So yes, guys, follow Aaron on social media, order the book. There's a good cause that comes out of it, and you get to learn something awesome as well. And thank you, Aaron, again. This has been awesome. And guys, we'll see you next week.